welcome to Banter and Such. I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And today we are talking about Kung Fury and Velocipastor!
Two of the most well-known movies that pretty much I'm sure all of you have watched at least a dozen times in your life.
Yeah, we were watching all the Oscar nominee movies this
Kung
year.
Fury, Velocipastor, Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. And these came up on the list.
And of course, we had to have the master of shitty movies himself. You've heard his voice before on the podcast. And as well, he is a host of Master and Debaters on Helios Network. We have Alex Alberico.
Hello.
All right, this is going to be fun. This is going to be stupid. This is what it's going to be.
Absolutely.
Let's get to some BS.
So today, before we get into these Oscar-nominated films, Golden Globe, Tony Award-winning films, we want to give you guys a heads up on
Isn't
some
it Tony
news.
only for plays?
That
Or
was
TV
the
shows?
joke, Alex.
Oh.
Thank you.
Golden
for explaining
Globes
that.
for TV.
Just wanted to make sure you knew what you were talking
They got
about.
the Emmys. They got
Dude,
them
this
all.
is Banner and Such. We never know what we're talking about.
We don't claim to be an authority on anything.
We want to give you a heads up on some Helios Network stuff.
Yes, first of all, I want to let you know about our amazing merch at theheliosnetwork.com. We just got in some Master and Debater stickers and I'll Be Careful, You'll Be Dead stickers. They are awesome. Like, they're like heavy-duty vinyl. I don't know what they are. They're amazing.
I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're up on our website, and the store is working.
Yes,
I know
finally.
We've said that a few times, but now it's actually true. I bought a sticker. I went through the whole
yeah, I
thing.
saw. I shipped it to you.
confirm. Yeah, okay. Did you?
No.
I was like, oh, I'll give a few bucks to the network, but it's working. So
Yes.
check out theheliosnetwork.com.
And if you'd like to make things work faster, you can go ahead and sub to our Patreon. The link is in the show description. By supporting us, you're supporting the Helios Network as a whole. We get to use that money to expand cool stuff. I don't know, maybe buy like Master and Debater hats. And as well, you get access to our weekly bonus banter episode and a shout out on episodes and discounts on merch and other cool shit.
All right, so we're ready to get into it. Which one of you came up with this idea? Because I got a text, and I was
so-
like, let's do this. And then like a few days later, like, let's add on Kung Fury too. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
So I'm not going to say, Alex, show us your receipts. I'm just going to say, why? Why, dear God?
Why did you inflict this upon our show?
I was just scrolling through Instagram, and it was like a meme of the Velociraptor poster, and it's like, the perfect movie doesn't exist. And then it was the description for Velocipastor, which is the funniest thing ever.
After losing his parents, a priest travels to China where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. At first horrified by this new power, a hooker convinces him to use it to fight crime and ninjas.
I just want to confirm too that yes, you did hear that correctly. Owen read the actual description for this movie.
Do you know what the tagline for this movie is?
Oh, give it to me.
A
babe.
man of the claw.
Oh man, this whole movie is this.
So
way,
I just
too.
sent it to him on Instagram, and I was like, this is funny. And then I think we just got done recording Master and Debaters. I was walking out, and he goes, so next week, Velocipastor? I was like, all right, let's do it.
Wait, he called you the king of the shitty movies. Is that true? Or like, do you have a thing for like bad movies?
Not really, no.
I just wanted to say something to
Just
give
let's do
some credibility to why Alex chose this movie for us.
It was a meme, and this will be a meme episode.
Oh,
There we
100%.
go.
And then I think Kung Fury just got added because there's not enough content in either of these movies to make a full
100%.
episode.
We just needed to fill it.
Yeah.
We need some more filler.
I was watching Velocipastor last night.
Yeah.
And I had a bottle of tequila in my hand and was just going after it. And about halfway through the movie, I realized that there's not enough content, 100%, for just Velocipastor. But Kung Fury is almost the exact same movie, so it kind of
Yeah, they're like very similar style. It's like I don't even know how to describe it.
Well-
I think it's categorized as an action adventure.
Yeah, sure. We'll call it that. But it's funny because like I sat down to watch it. Like I've heard of Velocipastor. I'm aware of it. And it's funny because Sarah was like, how did you even hear about this movie? She was so incredulous. She was like, and I'm like, people have heard about this. Like she's like, where did you hear about it? I was like, I don't know, the place where you hear things. These are the places I spend time on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, it is the best name for a movie.
Yes.
I think they came up with the concept of the movie just from the pun in the name.
Well, so do you guys actually know how they came up with the concept of this movie?
No.
Okay, so the director, Brandon Steer,
There we go.
one day was texting, and he was texting Velociraptor, and it auto-corrected to Velocipastor. And he's like, well, that's a movie right there.
That's brilliant.
The only time autocorrect has ever worked in someone's favor.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And then, but yeah, so I was talking to Owen earlier. Between the two movies, there's an hour and a half
Yeah.
of content, which
With
is
both
shorter
movies.
than that's just a short movie on its own.
Well,
But this is both together.
I even thought to myself, I was like, all right, cool. We're going to have a short episode of banter and such this time. That's fine. Not every episode needs to be like a full-on thing. It's just short and to the point. And then I wrote 2 pages of notes, over 2 pages of notes between these two movies. And I was like, I kind of have a lot to talk
I have
about.
thoughts and opinions.
I have a lot to say.
So, Brando, you've multiple times on air, on the record, have stated that occasionally
Yeah.
these powers of kung fu could just come out of nowhere
His are
when
karate,
needed.
though.
Yeah.
So my question to you is Velocipastor
Uh-huh.
a documentary about your life?
You know what? That's pretty close,
Yeah.
actually.
So when the kung fu takes you over, when the karate takes you over, do
Only-
you also turn into a velociraptor?
Only in times of distress. I don't dial 911.
No.
I bring out the guns, and I mean left and right. My
the
fists.
claws.
Yeah,
Are you?
my
You're a man
claws.
of the claws.
A man of the claws.
Also,
Oh,
the Velociraptor suit in this is the funniest thing. That line, I don't want to.
wait, are we talking about the visual effects in this
Yes.
movie now?
Yeah,
All
the
right.
VFX.
Yeah.
All right.
Car on fire.
Car on fire.
I didn't know. I came in not knowing anything about. I was aware that it existed. I didn't know anything about it. And the movie starts, and it's the pastor giving a sermon, and then it ends, and he walks outside and he waves to his parents, and they're at their car, and then their car explodes. But when the camera pans to it, instead of an exploding car, there's just a phrase that says VFX car on fire. And it keeps cutting back to it, but you hear all the people screaming.
All the
and stuff.
noise and all.
And I was like, okay, now I know what kind of movie I'm
Oh,
watching.
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of went in blind too. Like I said, I just sent it as a meme, and he's like, "Let's do it." And I was like, "All right, like
Yep.
I know what the description says. Let's see what happens."
We also didn't have a topic ready for this week, so it's like if someone presented me an idea, I was just gonna say yes.
We're going to say yes to whatever.
And the fact that we did Cocaine Bear, another Oscar, Golden Globe, Tony
Oh, yeah.
nominated film,
Yeah.
it was last week.
Well,
Let's
I
keep
feel
going
like
with
it's
these
like
great
you
movies.
guys did your little adventure series, so now I think you have to do like whatever you want to call these movies
what
series.
would we call that? Well, I mean, with Cocaine Bear, it's like they were making a real movie.
Yeah.
Like, but it was like, hey, this is a comedy, but like the concept is ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with Velocipastor, just in case anyone hasn't seen it out there, I know it's everyone's already seen it, I'm sure. But like it's an intentionally bad movie. Like they're
Yes.
trying to make a bad movie on
I
purpose.
hope so because I had a hard time. Like it is really bad.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's bad in ways that are hilarious. Like it's I was genuinely cracking up throughout this movie. Like I actually enjoyed this movie. I was like, this was
I did,
really funny.
I did too. I was just like laughing to myself. I mean, they have like all the classic tropes. You got the leather jacket and the muscle car at the end.
Yeah.
Like the montage of him working out for some reason. Like 80s style montage, that weird sex scene montage.
Dude, yeah, okay. So this is a point here where I want to randomly interject quotes that I wrote down while watching this movie. All right, Carol, who is the prostitute. I don't know much about God. The priest. I don't know much about dinosaurs. Real quote from the movie. Real real one.
So that's okay. So we got to talk about it. I just looked it up. Velocipastor on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you guys want to guess what the audience score rating was?
I bet it's a high score. I bet it's in the 80s.
Okay.
I think 85.
It's 72.
72.
Okay, that's still not bad
But
at
still,
all.
for what this movie is,
I don't think they're trying. I think they made exactly the movie they were trying to make. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't like with The Room, Tommy Wiseau with The
Mhm.
Room. He was trying to make a good movie, but he's crazy. And so the movie ended up like really awful, right?
Yeah.
And so bad that it's wonderful. Whereas this one is like they knew what they were doing. And I think they hit the nail right on the head.
I was entertained for an hour, but also just like I felt like I was dumber for watching it, for having watched it, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
I feel guilty. I'm watching this right now.
all I'm going to say is A Man Called Otto, which is a new Tom Hanks movie, doesn't have as good an audience score or even a Rotten Tomato score.
A Tom Hanks movie.
A Tom Hanks movie has a worse score than Velocipastor.
What's the critic score on Velocipastor?
It's 61%.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yes.
That's actually more surprising than the audience score to
Yeah.
me.
If
But-
yeah.
I will say there's only been 18 certified reviewers, though.
Well, like so much happened. Like it's like if you knew every movie trope and you were trying to make. I mean, like the first 8 minutes, I looked at the thing. I looked at the little counter, and like in the first 8 minutes, so much happens. Like
And so quickly.
Yeah.
yes, like his parents die in a car explosion.
That's like 30 seconds in.
30 seconds in, and then he goes to China to find himself.
Before you get to that part, though, one of my favorite lines is right
yeah.
after his parents die.
Uh-huh.
His like mentor, senior
Oh,
pastor
the
guy,
old priest.
what is it? What was his name?
Who gives a
Stewart.
shit what his name was? Old priest.
Old priest guy literally goes, "Well, it's okay. That's what parents do. They die on you."
He's trying to comfort him.
Yeah, he's trying to comfort him. 2 minutes after the explosion, it's okay. That's what parents do. They die on you.
The writing in this movie is so perfect. Like it's as if like a couple of guys in a college dorm like wrote a script on a dare.
Oh, 100%.
And then it ended up in a movie somehow. Like,
And they were really stoned.
but like it's got the call to action. It's got the inciting incident. Like he goes to China to find himself.
So this place takes place in like New York or Brooklyn or something
Sure,
like that.
yeah.
Boston, I don't know.
America. of some
Somewhere.
In America.
Generic city.
Yeah.
And he gets in a car and drives to China.
He does. And so he's walking through the woods, which are clearly like somewhere in
Not-
the Midwest.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it looks like some normal ass.
It's not a
woods.
bamboo forest.
It's not anything.
And the
like-
acting, he's like going through the brush, and then like when the lady falls at his feet, he's just like looking at the branches, like floating like an NPC, just examining the trees.
Oh,
He's like, what?
So you have to explain the random woman dressed as like in karate gear who gets shot with an arrow by a ninja. This all happens in the first like 3 or 4 minutes while he's in China, and she dies in front of him and gives him the rock or something? Or the
Oh no,
claw?
it's a claw.
It's
for
a
sure.
claw.
Yeah, it's a Velociraptor claw.
And he trips and falls and cuts himself, and he becomes the Velociraptor.
No. But then he wakes up back at the church.
back home.
And it was all just a dream.
Yeah, yeah.
Or was it? We don't know.
And we're like 6 minutes into the movie at this point. Like I'm like, so much has happened. Like the pacing of this.
Oh,
is
when that girl was dying, she was like just speaking in Chinese or Mandarin, and he didn't know what the fuck she was saying. Subtitles are like, "You must destroy it. They'll never stop coming for you." And he's like, "You want me to take it? Okay."
Because when he first gets to the forest, it's like in like big giant letters. It's like boom, 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 China. And then
China.
it goes away, and he goes, China.
Just to let the audience know that now we're in China.
Yeah.
Just and so when he gets back, then it's basically a Jekyll and Hyde like Hulk, Incredible Hulk
Yes.
scenario. Where,
Yeah, no one believes him, and they think it's just dreams.
and he turns into the raptor and he kills bad guys. Like,
Well, he just
Brutally.
goes, "I'm hungry," and then he just runs away. He's just going through the park.
and when he does transform into a velociraptor, what I mean by that is like a hunchbacked rubber, like
latex human
like Reptar from like
it does. And
Rugrats?
it does look like Reptar.
Oh my God, you're 100% right. So I guess the director had that suit in his basement from an old high school play that the principal made him take it out because of it was going to be too violent for the high school play.
And he's like, "Hey, what can we do with this?" Hey, I got an idea. I got an auto-corrected text the other day.
But we need to talk about one of my favorite character in the entire movie, though, before we get to the park scene.
Oh, we're talking about favorite characters now?
Favorite
Are
character.
you talking about Frankie the Mermaid?
Frankie Mermaid. Why am I a mermaid?
Because you're swimming in bitches.
Goddamn right. So randomly, there's this lady walking down the street, and she goes and says hi to this dude, and he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Carol?" And then hits her.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
And it's
You don't know who these people are at this point.
I know, but the cinematography and like the tropes of all these movies, like it was a really bad fake hit.
Oh, yeah.
Intentionally.
Yeah. But everyone has a backstory. Every character has a backstory, and you learn that Carol is this prostitute, and Frankie Mermaid is her pimp, and he is the best character in this whole movie.
by a long shot.
And every line that he says is hilarious.
Oh,
man.
dude, the director, like he said, this guy was so excited just to be in a movie that he let him like make up the character, and like this guy was so excited to be in a movie, he shaved his own head. He did that.
Oh my
and
God.
he came up with the character. He came up with the name.
That's awesome.
Fernando Pacheco de Castro
It was.
was the actor's name for Frankie Mermaid.
Was
He's
that what he was
wonderful.
supposed to put in the notes in the beginning?
Maybe that was it. Were you trying to? Yeah.
That might have been it. Yeah. No, it like, and we should say too, like, if you think about it, the acting in this movie is like actually kind of good. Like the writing is good in the sense that it's a clever bad movie,
Yeah.
and the acting is good in the sense that like they're actually good. Like they're not flat or anything. It's just the cinematography and the special effects and the whole concept and everything else. Is
The amount of like zooming, like slow zooms to faces was insane.
and you can tell when they zoom in too much, so they zoom back out,
Yeah,
and then zoom
and
in
they
again,
just-
slow again.
That's intentional. Like that has to
If
be
things are
intentional.
going out of focus.
Yeah. When he's running through the forest in the orange dress,
Oh, God.
and it's like someone with an iPhone running behind him. That's like there's no
Dude,
like.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like when the writing is legitimately good, because the pastor he wakes up from like going on his killing spree, and the prostitute and Carol had brought him into her house, but he's butt naked because he ripped out all his clothes, and he thinks they had sex, and he was like, "Was it your first time too?" She's like, "What? No. What are you talking about?"
No, that's not the right setup. She goes, "Yeah, I was so nervous, I peed a little bit," and that's when he goes, "Oh, was it your first time?" Because he has no concept.
And he feels bad because he's broken his vows.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, you turned into a dinosaur and murdered people."
Yeah, she's like, "What are you talking about?"
And then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna go." She's gonna take him to show the body that he killed. And he's like, "Do you have anything I can wear?" Cut to him standing in an orange dress in the fucking woods.
And it's like a 70s, like hippie, like short.
Super short.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's got a bulge for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
you can see the outline and everything.
But yeah, when he runs away and he's just.
My favorite part, he's like, "Oh, I'm late for confessions," but at no point does he have a watch on.
Oh, no.
There's no cell phone, so he doesn't know what time it is. He just knows that he's late for confessions.
All right, I'm going to interject another random quote here. When the homeless man comes up to the priest and says, "Can I have some money?" And he was like in the middle of changing and stuff and turning into a dinosaur, and he was all stressed about it. And he runs by him. He looks to the homeless man. And he goes, "I took a vow of poverty. I have no material possessions," and pushes him and runs off.
I was like, "What?"
Also, the actor is jacked.
Yeah, he
He looks
ripped.
great.
Yeah.
He looks great.
No tan though.
Oh, absolutely
He
not.
could have been in Kung Fury.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Like, and so,
Where do we even go with this?
well, we haven't gotten to the ninjas yet.
Oh, that's right. There are ninjas in this movie.
They dropped the whole Jekyll and Hyde thing, pretty quick, where he like accidentally.
Well, because you find out.
Well, he kills Frankie Mermaid.
Yes. So you
At confession, when Frankie Mermaid's
And no one ever finds the body, and it's never addressed.
Nope.
And
Nope.
What? He's confessing the worst things
He's like,
imaginable.
oh yeah, I
That-
stole candy from a baby, and I threw the baby in a lake.
that whole like rambling was so fucking funny. He is the best character in the movie.
Dude, that scene, I was cracking.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so naturalistic. He had to have been just ad-libbing.
Oh yeah, and funny enough, like I blew up a car here a couple months ago. In fact, it was actually right outside this church, like some old couple.
And then like one of your friends ran out crying, like, "Oh my god, my parents!"
And the Velocipastor is just getting angrier and angrier. And he punches through the confessional thing. And he's got raptor hands.
They're like kids' Halloween gloves.
And he chokes out Frankie Mermaid. It's just
Cuts
like,
his
oh
neck.
my God. Oh, man.
But yeah, I feel like it turns into like I have powers, I have to fight crime, to then like, oh yeah, now ninjas. Like ninjas are trying to get people hooked on cocaine.
Yeah.
That's 6 times more addictive than standard cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
So that they could cut it off and get people back into church.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's
You
because
would-
the ninjas are also priests. That was one of the big
Oh,
twists.
yes,
of the
yes,
movie.
yes. I'm what was it, Father?
Father Stewart.
Because it kept cutting to like the ninja leader who's like speaking Mandarin the whole movie. It was like
and people
so
just
funny.
understand him.
Yeah, and
yeah,
they're all
yeah.
speaking English, and except for him. And like, but it was perfect because like his like ninja outfit kind of looks like a priest like vestments.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I see that. Okay, that makes sense.
They didn't even get proper priest vestments for the main characters.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you notice like the what's a white cloth thing that they wear, Brando? You know the
Just the collar.
the
yeah.
collar, like it was like sewn on, and you could see that they like were still had like the makeup, so it was like the white cloth was getting stained. And if you notice on the back, it was
It's
bobby
just-
pins.
yeah.
It was they had a tie and a bobby pin to keep it all
Oh, yeah.
together.
Well, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
another thing. All the extras, I say in quotations, it's like in the Vietnam scene, for some reason, there's a Vietnam scene.
Okay, the war flashback. The war flashback scene from the old priest.
All the tropes, man. All the tropes.
Like I said, every character has a backstory. Even when they don't need a backstory. It cuts to the old priest and he's like, I haven't been to him since the war. And I was like, wait, what? And then the camera zooms in on his face and it cuts to him in Vietnam. Clearly in that same Midwestern like woods.
No, that's it was China.
That was insane.
It was China.
China.
It was China.
Also, my favorite part is the priest is like in his 60s and 70s, and all they do is put a blonde wig on him.
And put him in the camo with a machine gun. He's out in the woods like it's like Nam or something. And he's like, and all of his friends die horribly in front of him.
And then he's like, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get back to Adeline. That's all I'm. I just want to survive this war so I can go back to Adeline and
yeah.
start a family.
And
And then she shows up.
there she
He's
is.
writing a letter to her. And she's just running in the
And
forest.
she's there. She's there. She runs towards him, steps on a landmine, and explodes right in front of him.
into just pasty juice.
Yeah. And
I don't think we could do anything to save her. She's too far gone.
too far gone.
I like when they go, "What was she doing out in the forest?" I don't know.
I don't know.
I think she really wanted to start a family.
And it just cuts from there, and that's his backstory.
Yep. Yep.
Just like what?
You don't forget about his wartime buddy Ali, who
That
literally
was
is like,
one of-
"You're gonna
that
name one
was-
of your kids Ali, and he's gonna smile like this because you know your good buddy Ali made it through all of Vietnam without dying."
Yeah,
No,
and
he said without taking a single shot.
then, and then pop, 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 pop. Ah! Can we talk about like the sex scene also and how like between the priest and Carol?
the
So eventually he
hooker
does-
doctor lawyer.
The hooker doctor
Doctor
lawyer.
lawyer,
That's
yeah.
why she's the only reason she's a hooker is because she's going to college to be a doctor lawyer.
Yeah, yeah. And so like they actually fall in love throughout the movie, which is actually kind of sweet. Like they do
Yeah.
it kind of well. And then when they have the sex scene, like, and I should say there's nothing raunchy about this at all.
Absolutely not.
Like it's actually a really sweet like
yeah,
love
you just
scene.
see underwear. That's it.
And then there's the montage of like other times of their romance where they're sharing ice cream, like scenes we haven't seen yet in the movie, and it shows them falling in love, and it was like, this is actually really
There was
sweet.
one cinema, like one of the editing or like one of the during that sex scene where it's flashing really fast between both of their faces and it gets faster and faster.
Yeah.
That was actually really cool. Like I was like, oh, that's an interesting like way to edit this.
Yeah.
I thought that was it was one of the few parts in the movie I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yes, that's the thing.
Like from the movie making side of it.
Yes, like as a film, the sex scene was actually like really good. I was like, this belongs in a different movie.
And it was so romantic. And then they wake up cuddling, and then ninjas
Jump
come
in the
through
window.
the window. 3 of them get in before they even start to wake up. And then this is like towards the end of the movie. All of a sudden, both of them know kung fu.
Yes. Oh yeah, when Carol's fighting kung fu also.
Yeah, where the fuck did that come from? There's
On her part-time, she also trains in jujitsu
That's what it
and
is.
Jeet
It
Kune
was-
Do and
it
kung
was-
fu.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's
insane.
a hooker, doctor, lawyer, ninja.
Well, then it abandons the dinosaur premise kind of, and it's just them fighting ninjas in the second half of the movie.
Because now he can control his powers.
Yes.
And he'll just turn his hands into dinosaur hands, and that's his power.
So they finally go, because I want to get to Kung Fury here shortly, but they finally go because they somehow know where the hidden ninja
No,
camp
you know,
is.
Remember, he goes, "Oh, I'm so glad that guy told us the secret. That
that's
ninja told us the
right.
secret location before he died."
All right,
Explain that pothole.
random quote interjected here. The priest at the end, the climax of the movie, when he turns full of rage and his dinosaur hands, and he looks at the bad guy and he goes, "I believe in a higher power, but praying right now will never save your lives."
So they get to the secret hideout of the ninjas. Okay.
The shit that's coming out of our mouths right now. The quote and the fact that you just said "secret hideout of the ninjas."
This is a real movie.
Then the ninjas come out to fight both Velocipastor and hooker doctor lawyer lady.
Chloe, right?
Carol. Something like that. And he says that and then transforms into the Velociraptor. And you get to see the
Well, that's not
Velociraptor as a
till
whole.
after Velociraptor or after Hooker dies, or he thinks
No.
she dies.
No, because was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets sliced from, like
Oh, in her
collarbone
battle,
to waist and like dies.
I was legitimately upset. I was like, "No, Carol!"
Well,
And
she
then-
just kicks so much ass, and then just one random ninja walks out and literally does the slowest like walk towards her, unsheathes his sword, and then just does kink.
There's no fight. It
And
just
then
slices
she
her.
dies.
Yeah. All right, random quote. Since I'm running out of time here, old priest, that's insane. God doesn't want people dead. Young priest, oh, I think God wants a lot of people dead.
So the climax, he goes into the full rage, and it's the first time you really see the actual suit. Like you've seen like mouth and arms in like the dark and that night in these scenes, but then
Yeah.
you see the whole suit.
Oh, in all its glory.
It's ridiculous. It looked like LARPing for the final battle scene. There was no choreography.
Oh, no.
No.
You can tell they did not practice this scene at all. They're like, all right, everyone's here. All right, let's go.
And film. And it's like, so like he's in this and there's like a tail and stuff like that. And whenever he like randomly hits somebody with the tail, because he tries to do this like swiping motion with it, the person just gets like gingerly touched with the tail and then it's like doing flips as he gets like knocked out. Oh my God.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the twist of how the head ninja henchman turned out to be
The brother.
brother?
There's another trope.
The
It's my
priest's
long lost brother.
and it cuts back to his memory with his family that it showed us earlier, and where it's like, "Oh, we love you so much," and then it's his brother. In
You're
the
our
back,
only son.
and his brother's in the background going, "Hey, what about me? I'm your son too."
Wait, what was the quote? Your answers, because he magnetizes the sword from the ground to his hand,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he goes, "My ancestors, or your ancestors, are also my
So he can
ancestors."
control the magic ninja sword
and
also.
stabs the shit out of his brother with no remorse or regret.
And his brother's got a point too. Like he was like neglected.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like there's so many like cutaway, throwaway scenes. Like when it shows the Velocipastor when he's thinking back to a memory of him eating dinner with his parents, and it just cuts to them laughing, and it's like it's all soft on the lens and stuff, and they're like,
What are they laughing at?
and but they laugh too long.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well, the brother says something as he's dying. He goes, "What were you always laughing about?"
It's just, oh my god!
But even then, when the brother was laughing with the evil head ninja boss,
Oh,
it lasted like 5 minutes,
and it was
like,
different laughs. Like he
different
didn't know how to laugh. It was weird.
So I don't know if you guys caught this, but
Nope,
I
did. Whatever it is, I definitely didn't catch this from Velocipastor.
Throughout the movie, the priest will like quote Bible passages throughout the whole movie, obviously because he's a priest, right?
Yeah.
And there were a couple of them that I was like, wait a minute, like I recognize that passage. I don't think that's what that said.
Oh no, he totally made it up.
So I looked up the Bible passages. Every single one of them was just random nonsense throughout the whole movie. He just randomly spouting out like some of them don't even exist. Like I was like,
I think
chapters.
I think I read it too. It was like Matthew only has 23 chapters, and he says like Matthew 28 or something.
Like Leviticus 24. I was like, it only goes to 23.
So then it ends with the head ninja has arrows that can make him turn back into a human.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's like, any last words? And he says, 6. Do you have this quote?
No.
Okay.
No.
He goes, 6. What he says something along the lines of like,
I think my hands are immune.
oh yeah, he goes, I think my hands are immune. And it cuts to an obvious mannequin's head.
Oh, yes.
He rips his head off.
Just blood pouring out. And then he's holding the man, and the mannequin body's still sitting upright. Then he turns the mannequin head around, and it's made up to look like the ninja leader.
And he stands there screaming, forever. And then a Gandhi quote got put up on the screen for some reason.
So that, like, do you ever guys watch, there's a YouTube channel called Red Letter Media.
Mm-hmm.
So they will watch bad movies. They have a show called Best of the Worst, and they watch bad movies that were like more like The Room. But that's from one of those movies where like this super violent movie ends on this note of violence, and it freeze frames and it puts up this Gandhi quote about world peace, and it's so out of place. And as soon as they put that up, I was like, what? Like nothing fits together. Like nothing makes
Well,
sense.
isn't the opening of Step Brothers? They have a quote from George Bush.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Before the movie starts.
Oh my God.
So
it's wonderful. This movie is wonderful.
it is campy. It knows what it is. I would call it like a grindhouse style film.
Yeah,
It had very grindhousey. It was meant to be kind of satirical, over the top, but ultimately,
even with the violence, like none of it, because it's so not realistic.
yeah,
it's not a thing.
I would say, cuddle up, get a little high, get a little drunk.
Yeah, you
Turn
need to
on
be a little
Velocipastor.
inebriated.
Yeah. Dude, whatever your source of inebriation is.
Yeah.
Just not cocaine that's 8 times more addicted than normal.
All right, I gotta have one final quote.
All right.
One final quote from the movie. All right. With the old priest when he's with the ninjas and they're explaining their plan for world domination to get people to go back to church, and the old priest goes, "I don't understand what does drug smuggling have to do with Christianity?" Ninja leader, everything. I'm sorry, everyone.
Well, out of 1 to 5 dinosaur claws, how many dinosaur claws would you give Velocipastor?
Oh, I don't want this to be a cocaine bear situation where Puck and Spencer are angry at all of us for making them watch it.
Oh, I'm pissing people off because I'm highly recommending this movie.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be so many people listening who are going to watch this movie and love it, and so many people who are going to hate it, and nothing in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no like, that was okay.
There is no...
I enjoyed the hour long movie.
It's hour 10 minutes.
I like
That's
the characters,
with
but
credits.
there were some plot holes.
It's
It's like, nope. I'm giving this bad boy 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 for me, too.
I'd go for it.
All right. Now we need to talk about, I am not kidding you, one of my favorite movies ever. To the point that this past Halloween, I dressed up as Kung Fury.
Oh, you did?
I was Kung
forgot
Fury
about
for
that.
Halloween.
Nice.
Yes. So if you haven't heard about it, Kung Fury was a direct-to-YouTube movie that came out in 2015, and it is 100% a satire on every single martial arts movie that came out in the 80s.
Yeah, like where Velocipastor, it was like they were trying to make a bad movie. Like Kung Fury was like, we're trying to make a ridiculous 80s movie. Like,
yes.
And it's just 30 minutes long, but it's got
How many millions of
everything in
views
it.
does it have? It's insane, right?
It's
They're
gotta be.
coming out with a third one, or a second one now. This year, in 2023, Kung Fury 2 is coming out.
I'm actually excited about that. I liked Kung Fury also.
So here's my thing. This movie, both this and Velocipastor are free on YouTube. You can watch them on YouTube for free. I have such a love and devotion to Kung Fury. I bought it on Amazon last night for $20 just to support them.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, it is just under 39 million views on YouTube.
That's
Is
insane.
what Kung Fury has right now.
So whereas with Velocipastor, I would say like the writing is better in that one, where it's like really well written, like to be very bad. With this movie, like it's all about the visuals to me.
Well, yes and no. I kind of disagree because the point of Kung Fury, my brain. Kung Fury is to be a bad 80s movie.
Yeah.
So the writing in it and the one-liners and the stupid jokes, I'm like, I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved it. Yeah.
Like when he rips off a dude's arm and goes, "You've been disarmed." It's like, that was perfect.
So, Alex, okay, so hold on.
I have that quote. I wrote that.
So here's the premise. In 1985, Kung Fury, the toughest martial arts cop in Miami, goes back in time to kill the worst criminal of all time, Kung Führer, a.k.a. Adolf Hitler.
because he was a master of Kung Fu and was going to conquer the world with it.
But it was only the chosen one, so he's going through time trying to... Adolf Hitler is trying to go in time to kill the chosen one to take his powers, which he got by getting struck by lightning and bit by a cobra simultaneously.
I love how, like, immediately, too, like, the movie starts off, and, like, if you know 80s, especially RoboCop is a perfect example of this, where, like, in the 80s, there's, like, this hyper crime, hyper violence that's in all the movies. And actually that was from the real world. We talked about it on the show before, how like in the 80s, like crime in urban areas and in cities was going crazy, and people thought the future was going to be this like hyper crime, hyper violence. So you see all these movies like RoboCop and stuff. But Kung Fury captures that perfectly, because like in the first like 90 seconds of the movie, you see a guy like on the street listen to a boombox and he's just bebopping, and a dude comes up with an Uzi and just goes and the boombox flies through the air and he just catches it, and now the guy with the Uzi's got it, and I'm like,
well, the cop, he's like, do you guys I don't know, do you guys have a permit for that or whatever? And the guy puts the skateboard under the cop car and kicks the skateboard. The cop car flies. Stories in the air.
They shoot it with their machine guns.
And it explodes. Because that in the 80s, that's what happened.
But that was like a perfect satire of that. I was like, yes. Like that's the context of the story that Owen just read was like that. And even Kung Fury's background, like his backstory.
Oh, you're like a dad to me to get sliced in
He's
half.
a normal ass cop with his partner.
You're my best friend and my mentor, and you're like a father to me.
He immediately gets murdered. Like,
I did like the way he got sliced in half with the tongue. It stayed with the back,
half. And then how did he get his powers?
Yeah, so he got struck by. So the ninja that killed his partner / father figure, was about to kill him.
Oh, he was the one that got.
And then Kung Fury, because we never given his name before that.
Yeah, who cares?
Got struck by lightning and bitten by a
That's
cobra.
What it was. Yeah.
While in an alleyway in Miami, and I don't know if you guys know this, but in the 1980s. Miami was infested with cobras. So this totally makes sense.
Weren't you in Miami like a couple weeks ago?
There's cobras everywhere. They still haven't figured it out.
I texted him a link to The Birdcage with Nathan Lane and Robin Williams. I was like, hey, you should watch this to get ready for your trip. I was like, I've never been to Miami, but this is what I imagine it is.
No, it's
See,
a lot
I
more
just
like
think
Kung
Kung
Fury.
I love the birdcage.
It's
We gotta
a
do an
good
episode
one.
on
We
that
do
one,
need to
too.
do one.
Oh my god!
But so he ends up, then an arcade comes to life and
Well,
it's like
an arcade
transforms.
game, yeah.
Arcade
Oh, yeah.
game comes to life, transforms, and goes on a murder spree.
and starts to shut down and run out of power, and then grabs like a parking meter and steals the quarters from it and reloads quarters into itself.
I love that. Also, did you see the way he shot?
yeah.
He had to.
With his middle finger.
Yeah, it would just be regular, and then he flips off, and the gun comes out of his wrist. He's like shooting. So anyway, that's our first introduction, and then Kung Fury gets the call and disintegrates the phone into dust when he's on his way.
Oh yeah. So I also didn't know anything about this movie, and like very quickly characters like are introduced back to back. Like first, like very quickly in quick succession. First of all, you meet his new partner, Triceratops.
Who has a Triceratops head?
And the camera cuts, and it's a cop with a Triceratops head. And then right after that, they get a phone call, and it's from Hitler. And I was like, Adolf Hitler's in this movie? And he shoots into the receiver of the phone, which shoots out into the police station, shooting the police.
Killing like most people because Kung Fury was about to quit because they're like, you just destroyed a city block. You have to have a partner or you're done. He goes, oh, I quit.
You're a loose cannon.
And the police station gets shot up through the phone.
Through the phone. The phone is just sitting there on its own with bullets flying out.
Yeah, it's exactly what I still love this movie, and I'm flabbergasted by how does
Can anyone
even think
trace the
about this?
call? It's impossible. I can. Hacker man.
Oh, then it introduces Hacker Man.
Yeah.
And this
Just
is
right away.
This is another wonderful trope, because if you watch movies from the 80s and stuff where people didn't understand technology yet, and it's like I'm typing on a computer and all of a sudden like I have the picture of the person. It's like that's not how technology
No,
works.
because first of all, Adolf Hitler takes the phone from someone else.
Yes.
And it still shows that it's Adolf Hitler's phone when he hacks into the system, which just doesn't make sense in general. Also, it's Adolf Hitler. You're like, what the
and
fuck?
he's got to go back in time.
Yeah.
So he just taps away. Hacker Man does.
He hacks time
He hacks time
with his power glove, his Nintendo power glove.
Yes.
My favorite was it was a montage of like him hacking stuff. And my favorite was when they're over the keyboard and he's just moving his fingers. He's not actually pressing any keys. There's like a scene and he's just doing this.
And it's just random letters that makes it look like hacker script. It's not like binary.
Oh, no.
Or like Java, HTML. No, it's just random shit being hit.
But it perfectly satirizes like movies from that time.
And then he goes back into the Viking era. He goes too far back in time.
Was it the Viking era
And
though?
they say it's the Viking
They
era.
do say it's the Viking era.
And they're
He's like,
riding
what-
dinosaurs.
There's these two gorgeous, blonde, heavy lifting
Viking
women,
ladies, yeah.
Viking ladies riding dinosaurs.
And he's like, I thought those went extinct thousands of years ago.
Oh, that's a laser raptor. Those went extinct
Yeah,
thousands
no.
of years ago.
They destroy his way to get back. The raptor, the laser raptor,
Oh, yeah.
just destroys his equipment, and then he's saved by a woman with a Gatling gun on a wolf.
That's what it was like during the Viking era. This is historically correct.
What time is it?
I have another quote here. When he's standing in front of a 50-foot tall Thor, and he goes, "Hi, Thor. I'm a cop from the future, and I need to get to Nazi Germany to kill Hitler." And Thor goes, "Stop. Hammer time."
And creates a portal through time for Kung Fury
like,
to
"Jeez,
go to Nazi Germany.
Thanks, Thor.
And what was the chick's name? Barbariana?
Was it?
Yeah, the Vikings lady's name. She goes, "Yeah, I'm Barbariana." And before Kung Fury jumps through the portal, he gives her a digital wireless phone, and they have a whole ad.
A commercial.
A
in the middle of
commercial.
it.
for
It's
the
product
phone.
placement.
Yeah, it's called a personable transportable cellular telephone. Here's my number, and you can call me with this.
But like I got a kick out of this just because like I love movies from that era, and there was like so today like if you're gonna go watch a movie from the 80s or 90s, you're probably gonna go watch one of the more popular ones, one of the better ones, and you might get the impression that there were a lot of great movies back then, but what you don't realize is there's a lot of terrible movies back
bad
then.
movies.
And there was this trope of like kung fu and like karate being in everything.
Yeah.
And then also cops being in everything.
I got sucked in. And this happens to me every time I go to Up Down because they always have like the 80s movies
Yeah.
on. I
Oh, yeah.
constantly just like sit there and watch movies I've never seen before
Yeah.
with no dialogue. I can't see, but I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I'm just sitting there.
Flash
in a
Gordon, Toxic Avenger. They always have WWE on.
What's the one with the two medallions?
Oh,
And-
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon. I watched
Dragon.
that whole movie. I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
No dialogue.
You don't need to hear it.
I doubt I do.
But so Kung Fury then gets sent to Nazi Germany
Oh, yeah.
and lands
But
in the middle of a giant.
This is after like Hitler had been trying experiments to try to find to perfect kung fu.
Yeah.
And he tried with a robot, and it was a Nazi robot kung fu kicking. And then he tried with genetic engineering, and it was a woman doing perfect kung fu.
And then explodes.
And then it's just like this montage of like Nazi Germany. I was like, that's not historical at all.
But then he fights his way through like 1,000 different Nazis.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then
Like Wolfenstein Nazis.
Wolfenstein style Nazis. And then Hitler pulls out a Gatling gun,
just
shoots him. And then all his friends that you've seen in the movie show up to back him up.
Yeah.
Triceratops, who shoots everybody in a dick. In the
I
chest.
fucking love that. And then when the guy covered it, he shot him in both shoulders so he couldn't use his arms and then shoots him in the nuts.
Thor shows up, 50-foot tall Thor,
Yeah.
Barbariana, the other chick, and Hackerman shows
Oh,
up
yeah, Hacker
in
Man
a
was
robot.
Yeah, he
And,
becomes
he turns into a robot.
That's right.
He
He
becomes-
hacks himself into a robot.
like an 80s computer transformer.
And they crush everything. And meantime, Kung Fury dies and goes to heaven, which is an animated cartoon.
Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh, when he rides that, what was it, like a Lamborghini or something?
Yeah.
Like an animated Lamborghini?
And there's cobras on scooters shooting after him.
he's like, oh, where am I? You're in heaven now. It's time to go in. He's like, look, I'm a cop. I'm going to need you to send me back. He's like, no, we can't do that. Like,
You're
you're in
dead.
heaven now. And he goes, you're under arrest for
And he-
obstruction of justice.
And it powers up like fucking Dragon Ball Z. And then he wakes up and he's alive again. And Hacker Man's going, oh, I hacked you out of heaven.
He hacked him out of animated heaven.
My favorite line from the heaven was he goes, he said like, yeah, this is heaven. You're dead. He goes, oh, it feels so real though.
All right, Brando, I got a random quote for you here. You don't need that spine. Rips the guy's head off. It's holding you back.
There was so many of them.
He talks like that throughout the whole movie, too. That voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His first stuff, I think the first one is when he gets his kung fu powers, he goes, knock, knock. Who's there? Knuckles. Just punches the dude.
Well, you forgot his very first lines of the whole movie when he's in his apartment with like super hot babe, and she just sits down next to him and grabs his arm, and he goes, "Yeah, that's my bicep."
Yeah.
First lines of the movie.
Yeah,
that's how you
that's my
introduce a
bicep.
character right there.
And I don't know how they did the audio, but it made it intentionally sound like every line was done during post.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they 100% overdubbed because a lot of the actors in the movie didn't know how to speak English. So
Really?
they just gave them like phonetically how to sound it out, and then they overdubbed them.
I didn't know that.
So
Well, the visual also looks like you're watching it on a VHS tape.
yes, like an
also.
old
Yep.
VHS
Yeah.
tape for sure.
And it even has the tracking, like it'll get out of sync and you get
Yeah.
like fuzz and it says tracking. I was like you would on an old school VHS player.
Yeah, like that's when he comes back to life. It just stops and then rewinds a little bit. It's Hackerman be like, "Oh, I just hacked you out of heaven."
It was okay, like both of these movies, and we said this about Cocaine Bear, and it's true about Cocaine Bear, but holy shit is it true about these two movies. If you're having a party at your house and you have people over and everyone's just listening to music and having drinks and standing around talking, having a great time, put one of these movies on in the background and just let it play in the background. This is perfect for that.
Oh,
man.
100%.
Oh, people get sucked in for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. They got to play. Updown's got to play this. This is
Oh, dude, you have to ask him.
Oh, 100%.
Next time you
I'll
DJ
get
there,
it.
just
Yeah.
have him play that on repeat.
I'll dress as Kung Fury again.
Yeah.
And as well, we didn't even talk about the greatest part of this entire movie is the fact they get David Hasselhoff to come in
Oh yeah, the Lamborghini. He's the computer
he's
system.
Knight Rider. He's
He's
It's
kids.
the Hoff 9000, and he literally says, "Didn't they teach you in school not to hassle the Hoff 9000?"
I forgot about
But
that.
then as well, he did the theme song for this movie called True Survivor.
Wait, he did the song for
The
it?
song for it. Yeah.
David Hasselhoff?
Yes, did a song called True Survivor, and it is a fucking banger. All right. So it's like this movie started this whole craze of mine for like the retro 80s
Yes.
synthwave stuff that's like come back. So you got like Time Cop 1983, Magic Sword, Gunship, like all these great bands, Carpenter Brute,
Yeah.
or Brute Carpenter, I forgot which combo it is. It's like, yeah, this is a whole genre of music now that's amazing.
I love it. I love the way the whole world is looking back at the 80s because I was alive in the 80s and I actually remember it.
Mhm.
And it's nothing like how it's presented today. But today's version of the 80s is so much better. And I love it. And people are like, I wish I lived in the 80s. And I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you
but
don't.
these 80s would be rad.
I mean, they all had the tropes too. Like speaking of the brother, like the brother twist in Velociraptor, when Adolf's by himself, he's like, "Come on, man, we could be like brothers." It's like, and his whole speech when he's trying not to get killed is so funny.
We didn't even talk about how ridiculous Adolf Hitler is in this movie.
Oh, the hand gestures and shit.
Because he's everything's at 11 and he's got this German accent. He's like, yes, and we're gonna get some people. We're going to kill some, and we're going to take over the world. And he's like waving his arms around, and it's like it is so funny, man. Just to see him gesticulate like
And
that.
then he gets confronted, and he's like, "You do bad things. I do bad things. You like to kill people, obviously." And it's like it's like thousands of dead German soldiers.
And how about in a movie that is so fast paced and it's only 30 minutes long, right in the middle of it, we pause and have this little moment between two Nazi guards
yeah.
and how they're talking shit about each other's Hitler mustaches. And one of them gets his feelings hurt and starts crying.
It's like, where did the tank go? And it turns and it's Kung Fury's picked up a tank and smashes him with it.
It's
He turns, he's like, no, your mustache is ugly. No, yours is ugly. Looks like you have glue on your face and then you kissed an asshole and you have ass hair on your face. He's like, is that what you call a mustache? You can't grow one. And he starts crying and it's just like, oh
Go cry to mommy. Go cry.
But do you guys know who they got to play Hitler though?
no.
It's Jorma Taccone,
Okay.
which is part of Lonely Island, and
Oh!
was Andy Samberg's younger brother in Hot Rod.
Oh,
That's Adolf Hitler.
nice. Yeah, and I look, I don't know if we're done talking about this movie, but it does end in the cliffhanger too.
It does, yes.
Like with,
We forgot the giant golden eagle that is always represented in Adolf Hitler.
yeah, the Nazi eagle.
The
yeah.
Nazi eagle.
It turns into a robot and fights a T-Rex.
Yep. And then somehow when Thor kills him, they get transported to the 1985 again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he got killed. I think I don't fucking know.
He just traveled through time. When he sees the robot and he defeats it and he looks down and he notices the swastika on it and he goes, "Wait a minute. I've seen that symbol somewhere before. Where have I seen that?"
It flashes back.
He's like, it flashes back to show us. Like, we know what a swastika is.
We just saw this.
We all know what that. It's like to remind us that that's Hitler's symbol.
I think one of my favorite parts of the movie was when the T-Rex and the golden robot eagle were fighting, but the T-Rex was using its short arms and the eagle was just using its legs because it was on its back. It looked like a slap fight.
And did you notice at the end of that fight, like, you know, when they've defeated all the bad guys and like all of Kung Fury's friends are saying, like Thor and the T-Rex and everything, and he says a one-liner and everyone starts laughing and it cuts to like a wide shot of all of them laughing together. But the T-Rex is one of them standing there with them laughing at the joke.
The T-Rex has a line,
Wait, he does?
right?
Oh, I can't
I
remember.
don't remember.
I'm
that.
pretty sure the T-Rex has a
I'm
line.
not surprised.
But yeah, and it wasn't even one of the best puns. He's just like, "So what do we do now, Kung Fury? I got to get back to the office. It's going to be a lot of paperwork."
Yeah, that's the
Everyone's
one.
like, "Ha, ha, ha, ha."
And then Triceratops comes up. He's like, "Triceratops, you're the best partner I've ever had." And then they shake
Hug
hands.
it out.
But they said 2 2 lines to each other the entire movie, and now he's the best friend and best partner he's ever had.
But you know, the movie needed an emotional arc. Though. You know,
fair. That's fair. Yes.
tie a bow on all of those ends.
All right. From 1 to 5, how many Kung Fury kicks would you give this movie?
I actually like this one a lot. I think this is a 4.5 for me.
Ooh, I'm giving this one a 4. Also,
I liked it a little more than Velociraptor because I get this like the satirical like Velocipastor. Satirical parts of it, and I know that Velocipastor was intentionally trying to be a bad movie, and like I just like there's just more of a budget. Fury.
Oh yeah. Both of these are great movies to watch.
100%. Kung Fury is actually an enjoyable movie though, and it's only 30 minutes long. So it's 5 out of 5. Five Kung Fury kicks all the way, all day.
You know what? I'm not
going
to hassle you about that.
You don't hassle the Hoff.
Didn't they teach you not to hassle the Hoff? 9,000.
All right.
It's trivia time.
So it's a melancholy day here at the Helios Network.
Oh, does that mean you spent?
Because I don't really know what happened with our trivia last week. Because we tied it 1-1 to the actual questions from Nick, but then you gave me a bunch of rapid round bear safety trivia. And
how do you want to gauge that?
I don't think I did very well on it.
So you would die.
So I think I'm going to take the L and I will spin the wheel of shit today.
So it's an amazing day here at the Helios.
There you go. You know what? I think this season is the last season we're going to do this damn thing. So
you want to pull out your phone and film this, Brando, so we can give it some Instagram content. All right, ready?
Do it, baby.
All right. Green. What is green, Brando?
Green is 2 shots, is what it says.
Oh God.
Oh fuck yeah.
It's not going to be Jaeger mustard or microwave tequila. All right. We will be right back. And we're back with some barrel-aged Malort and some Aperol.
Do it, baby.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Oh, God, Malort.
Took it like a champ.
And Aperol. Woohoo! There we go. All right. That's 2 shots. You know, I wasn't going to drink today because I have like a 7 a.m. flight tomorrow, but fuck it. Here we go.
You know, I have to say, now that we're into trivia, I'm actually really nervous about this because I barely even paid attention to these movies while I was watching them.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got 2 questions already.
All right. But before we get trivia, Alex wanted to bring a little master and debaters in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
For us, some would you rather, was it? What are we doing, Alex?
I just got one. I wanted to get a little master debaters with the would you rather. So it's, would you rather be shot by Triceracop in the dick and lose 25% of whatever you got,
All right,
or have raptor powers but be celibate forever?
Oh God damn. Like when you say celibate forever, like I'm Ken doll down there, or
No, celibate is just you just don't have sex.
You can't masturbate. You can't ever get married.
I can't masturbate even. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no completions for you for the rest of forever.
At all.
Oh man. I mean, Brando's already living that life. So
yeah, that's right.
And I'll put on there
with your 2 kids.
when you get shot by Triceracop, they fix everything so it looks nice and neat, but you just lose 25%.
I'll get shot in the dick by Triceratops.
Really?
Yeah.
But that would hurt.
Not as much as not having sex or having any type of completion for the rest of your life.
Do your balls get hit also? Or just the penis?
Just the peen.
Okay, just the penis. You're gonna go through all that pain.
Yeah, I'll get shot in the dick by Triceratops.
You know what?
Do you have 25% to lose?
Fuck yeah, dude. Big boy over here. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the celibacy.
So you don't have kids anymore?
I'll go the priestly route.
don't?
Well, from this
No,
point
no,
on.
from this point on. Yeah.
From this point on.
No, he has the kids. He has the wife still.
Yeah, I would just have to like.
No, you got to get rid of the wife because you can't be married if you're celibate.
Oh, we can't be married.
Oh, then he's definitely gonna choose a pass.
We'll just be friends. Yeah, I'll tell Sarah. I was like, it's not you. It's actually Alex.
It's actually my raptor powers.
It's my raptor powers. I'm sorry. I don't want my heart rate to get up because it would hurt you.
Just protecting you and the girls.
Yes. I have to go to China to isolate myself.
His location says he's in Montana?
More like Indiana. Like
Alex, what would you choose between the two, though?
I'll go 25%.
You would get shot?
I want to have sex.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
All right.
All right, let's get into some trivia.
All right, I'll start with Kung Fury. I think you did already answer a couple. So, what is the okay? So when Hacker Man is hacking into time, there's a famous equation that is an actual equation that changes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the equation that gets Fury back in time? Like that was the equation they needed to figure out, and it got figured out.
Okay.
I know,
And it's in the montage.
It's in the. I know this one for a fact.
I have a guess.
Okay, go for it.
Is it E equals MC squared?
No, it is E equals MC to the third power, which I don't know what that is.
Yes,
It's
he's
the
right.
third power.
It just changed to a 3, and then he's like, I'm in.
That's how he hacks time?
Yep.
Oh my God. There's layers to these
Yeah.
movies here. There's just so many layers.
Yeah, he's just typing away. I got it. And
Oh,
that
it's
thing
E
just
equals
ticks
MC cubed.
Yeah, cubed.
Cubed.
Yeah,
Okay.
cubed.
All right, I'm going to just go through all the Kung Fury first.
Oh, yeah.
You named most of them, but what are Kung Fury's teammates or friends' names? Like, what? Name them all.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Well, you have Triceracop,
No.
Thor.
Yes.
Barbaria, right?
Barbariana.
Yeah.
Barbariana.
Okay. Hacker Man.
Oh, damn it, Hackerman. There was the T-Rex.
That counts, yeah.
Yeah, as I say, they didn't have a name.
And did
It's one last one, and
Yeah.
she introduces herself.
does she?
Yep.
Fuck. What was her name?
She's the one with dark hair, right? She's not the one.
No,
who,
Barbariana is the dark-haired
dark-haired one.
Okay.
Blonde-haired has
Then
a
the
name.
blonde-haired
So
one.
the blonde-haired woman is the one who summoned Thor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, she did say her name.
No. Fuck.
I don't know.
Frasier. I don't. Yeah.
It's Katana.
Okay.
There we-
Oh, of course, it's 80s. It's Katana. All right. Brando, you get a point because you got more than me.
So I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, so we brought up the phone.
Okay.
What are this is a little bit mine go easy to hard. This is a hard
Okay.
one. What are the perks of the PTCT?
Oh,
the personal transportable cellular telephone featuring there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 features to it.
Do you want to go first or shall I go first?
I remembered he said it'll get more people to have phones in their cars.
Yeah, that's
I
the
don't-
end.
Okay,
That's
I don't
not
know
the
if that's like
feature of the
perks, yeah.
infomercial.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's like, was it 9 speed dial numbers or 10 speed dial numbers?
That's one of them.
Okay.
Oh, it had a battery that lasted like 2 hours. I'm guessing here.
Man, what was did
There's
it have
2
a
more.
security system or like a something like that where it's
Yeah.
like a passcode?
Yep, electronic security lock.
Yeah, electronic security lock.
There's one more, Brenda. It's so stupid.
I don't know. I have no
yeah, I
idea.
can't remember that one. Is.
So it starts with saying 645 channel capacity.
Oh yeah. What did you need that for a phone?
What does that mean?
I'll get a point on that one because I knew more. So it's 2-1.
All right, we'll move on to Velocipastor.
Oh yay!
What is the movie unofficially rated?
I know this one.
Velocipastor.
Yeah.
Does it say it on
Yes,
there?
it does.
The very start of the movie.
The first thing you see in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to. It's right before his sermon. He's at the church doing
It's
the sermon.
literally,
It
you
literally
see this
said-
before
yeah.
you see a
Yeah.
single scene.
Unofficially. I'll have a guess.
Go for it.
Was it like XXX?
Yeah, it's rated X by an all Christian jury.
right. That's right. Damn, I remember that now.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
All right, so we said this one, but it's a two-parter. Why
Okay.
is Frankie the Mermaid Frankie the Mermaid? Why does he have that name?
Because he's swimming in bitches.
Yeah.
Yes, we said that one. This is the second part. Why can Frankie smoke wherever he wants?
Oh, he says that while he's smoking in the confession booth. I'm trying to remember the
Yeah,
reason.
Velocipastor says, hey, you can't smoke in here. And he says, I can smoke wherever I want because...
Oh, didn't he say like? Oh man, the line is great too because it was something like, "Cause I'm on fire" or something like.
He's close, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Because
Does that have a heart of fire or?
I can't remember.
He goes, because my life is fucking fire.
There you go, Frankie the Mermaid.
When they cut to him after the explosion, where he's like, says like, "Oh yeah," and like I like blew up a car, like these two old couple, and like cuts to like the reenactment of it, like his memory, and you just see Frankie in the corner, like,
And there's obviously just a hand lighter in front of the camera.
When he's going through the list of his confessions and he's just listing off his sins, and each one is as ridiculous.
I
as
buy
the
drugs. I sell drugs. I get other people to sell drugs. I murder people. My bosses, they want me to murder people, and sometimes I get other people to murder people for me. Just going on
Well,
and
my
on.
favorite is like I sold candy from a baby, and of course I threw that baby in the river because I didn't want it snitching on me.
next. Anyone snitching on me?
Okay, so the pastor in the montage and in his relationship with
Carol.
Carol starts reading books.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's 3 books. Yeah. There's 3 books that are like prevalent that he's reading. What are the 3 books?
Oh, I know one of them.
I think I know 2 of them.
Okay.
One was like Intro to Dinosaurs. It was,
Close-ish.
and then one was like it was like martial arts. I think.
So I think the first book he's reading is like Dinosaurs and Me or something like that.
It's called All About Dinosaurs,
all
okay.
about
which is an actual children's book all about dinosaurs.
Then the second book he's reading is called Crime 2.
That is correct. Yes.
And it's funny because then the pastor walks into him reading it, and so he just grabs a Bible and puts it over the Crime 2 book.
and the Bible's smaller.
And the Bible's smaller.
There's one more, and it is in the montage of their relationship.
Oh man.
It's super funny.
It was like
How to use your pee-pee with a girl.
no, was it a book about China? It was something about China, wasn't it? Oh no.
What was it?
No, he's teaching because she says I don't know shit about Christianity or church or something.
Oh yeah.
So it's in the montage. He's holding up a book that says "Who's Who" in the Bible. And he's teaching her.
Oh, that's right.
Characters of the
He's
Bible.
teaching her about God. That's part of the montage.
Oh my gosh. I'll give us each a point on that one.
See, all the
Brando.
characters have a character arc there. There's an emotional journey that they go on.
I don't know how much research you guys did
Oh,
into the
God.
movie,
Okay.
but how many cast members? I'll just give the point to whoever's closest.
All right.
Okay.
Acting cast members. I'm not talking like camera or director. Like how many actors total are in this movie?
Velocipastor.
Velocipastor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This is good content. They just both get
I
in
know.
their hands.
I have a guess.
I have a guess too.
I'm gonna say 10 people.
I'm
10
going to say
actors.
12.
There's 28.
What?
What?
Yeah,
20? Oh,
because
the
there's
parents.
the Vietnam scene, the parents.
Oh.
There's
the
the
wife who
ninjas.
got blown up. That's
Yeah.
The wife who got blown up. Yeah, 28.
I'm not going to give either one of us a point on that one.
Which is still surprisingly
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
Because I was curious. I was trying to count it as I was going through the movie just to see. Yeah, 28.
I think that's more than Kung Fury.
Yeah. The
If you don't
computer
count all the individual Nazis.
in the background, the green
Yeah.
screen background.
Oh yeah, the green screen.
There's
I
no
wanted to count how many Nazis he killed,
Oh,
but I was like,
man.
I can't rewatch this again.
You
This is
run
so
out,
fast.
yeah.
So hard to count. Okay, so both my last questions are Velocipastor. I'll give you a hint. It's below $100,000.
Oh, okay.
How much do you think this movie cost to make?
Wow.
I do know this one.
You do?
Yeah, I looked it up. because I had to know, so I did look it up.
All right, I'm gonna guess. I'll see if I can get close. I'm gonna say.
Malort. Sorry,
I'm
Malort.
gonna say like $500.
No, it was surprisingly more.
Yeah.
For what we got.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess there's the blood and I don't know.
So they guesstimate between $35,000 to $45,000.
Yeah.
What did they spend? Was that just lunch for everyone?
Well, it also took like years. I don't know if you noticed. One of the like weird facts is like the warts on his forehead get smaller and bigger depending on the scene because there was such long time between.
Oh no,
shit.
I didn't know that.
All right, last one, and it does show it in the movie.
Uh-oh.
And he is a pastor at what church? What's the name of the church he's a pastor
Oh,
at?
I made this joke to the person I was watching this with, so I do think I know it.
I know part of it. It was a Church of Christ.
It was the Church of Christ,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I just remember. That's as much as I remember.
I think it's like 8th Street Church of Christ.
It's the 10th Street Church of Christ. And the only time you see it is when he gets locked in the room by the older pastor and Carol's waiting for him. And it's just a shot of her in front of a church smoking and waiting. And that's the only time you ever see a church name.
You realize you see a lot of like the recording equipment, like they threw it in there, like the scene when he's like in the forest in China, you could see like the diffuser light blanket that they put up, or like sometimes you see the boom mic come into shot. Oh,
you could see the boom mic in the doctor's.
yeah.
Oh, and the reflected thing on his
you can
forehead.
see the boom mic in his
Yeah.
the reflection of that.
What even is that thing?
Ooh, all right, well, I'm feeling pretty good after those 2 shots, and as well because I won trivia yet again today.
You earned it,
And
man.
a score of 5-2.
Oh my God, Brando.
But really, who won here today?
I got you to watch Kung Fury, so I definitely
I
won.
think we all lost.
Man, you know what? I'm actually glad. Like when you texted me, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this for the show. All right. But I sat down and both of these movies, like I laughed at, I enjoyed, like legitimately both of these movies, like people should check them out.
Yes.
I agree. They're dumb. You'll be dumber for having watched them, but it's entertaining.
And as well, in the show notes, we are going to put a link to the David Hasselhoff music video. So,
All right.
yeah.
Also, I want everyone to know they're coming out with the second movie to both of these.
Mhm.
There is a Velocipastor 2
Oh my
in
gosh.
production.
What?
And Kung Fury 2 is coming out this year.
I'm supporting it, man. I'm
Yeah.
supporting it.
Oh, hold on. I gotta
Midnight
pull
showing,
this up real quick.
Opry Mills.
Yeah, I'm there.
All
I'm
right.
there.
I gotta pull it up because I pulled up the description for part 2
Oh,
of
God.
Velocipastor.
Oh, how does the story continue? I have to know.
Doug and Carol travel to Milan where they have to solve a series of murders committed by a masked aggressor at an Italian fertility festival.
All
God.
right. Is this gonna have like mafia in it and like Tommy guns? And stuff? Like
But the mafia are also Christians, too.
the church agents.
Oh my God, that trope at the end when she's like, "What are you gonna do? What I do best." I was like, God damn it.
Oh, man.
This has been honestly. This episode was way more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
You thought it was just gonna be like short and quick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, for bringing the fun today. You're amazing. We talked about Master and Debaters, and I want you to tell us about where to find your show. But I do have to say, the latest episode of Master and Debaters.
Oh, man.
And the tangent about Mike Tyson had me crying in my car.
I
man.
was the first time I broke, and I think we're at record. I think we recorded.
You
like
were
15
dying
or 16.
in the background.
I broke. I was like this. I was like that far away, and you could still hear me so loud.
yeah.
It was
great.
so funny. Everyone needs to hear that episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sucker Punch 2 is
Yeah,
the name of that
Sucker
episode.
But tell us about Master and
The
Debaters
Electric Boogaloo.
and where they can find you.
Yeah, so it's at Master and Debaters on all platforms.
Mhm.
We're just 3 little idiots trying to solve life's greatest debates in 45 to 55 minutes and failing pretty miserably most of the time, but it's a lot of fun. It gets real intense, but check us out for sure. And then you can find me at Alex E. Alberico.
And you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. We have a Banter and Such podcast on Instagram. Banter, what is the Twitter?
At Banter Such.
At Banter Such on Twitter. You can find me at THN_Owen on Twitter as well.
Yeah, you're on the internet.
And all the links are in the show description for that too.
Yes, and we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
Yes, check us out at www.theheliosnetwork.com to get some of our merch and check out some other amazing podcasts like Tabletop. Oh, man. So if you don't know, Nick Perrin, he lives in Boston. He's been on Banner Such a few times, and now his podcast is officially part of the Helios Network.
Woohoo!
It is a podcast about tabletop RPGs, being a game master, dungeon master, whatever it is. He gets amazing guests to come on. They give like tips and tricks and like rate tabletops. It's actually fucking great.
And for all of our Patreon subscribers, stay with us after the outro music because we have the extended bonus banter coming up exclusively for you.
For those who want to subscribe to our Patreon, the link is in the show description. And as well, that means you can listen to our bonus banter.
Well, I love you all so much, and thanks so much for listening to blah, blah. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Banter and Such.
Next week, we're talking about something, and we might have a guest.
Well, I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And until next time, may your week be filled with BS. I have nothing more to say about these movies. I completely exhausted.
No,
We talked about these movies
Lamageddon,
for
dude.
as long as they.
Next week's gonna be on Lamageddon. Are you joking?
Are you introducing us to this whole new genre of movies?
Yeah, why not? I mean, you guys talk about everything else, and you get real critical, and I love that. You know, you analyze, and you think you're good moviegoers, but sometimes you just need to take a break. You know?
Oh, 100%. And what else? What better way to take a break than with Velocipastor and Kung Fury?